me so. I do love my mind, but not the way I do love you.
So week 4 is finally completed, and let me tell you, it's been a full-on week. A lot have happened, and from me, week 3 finishing up would be like, I don't know what's happening. I need to start from zero. I need to do a survey and actually like get what's the problem and then find a solution. To me, having a full understanding what's going on and having a lot of things going on. So it's been a long week, and I will start pretty much with what was the learning from this week, just to give a heads up on what's going on, what happened. I think to make it a bit more interesting, and then go day by day with what happened. I didn't film a lot during this week because if you have seen me in the office, I was literally just running from one part to another because I had a lot of meetings. But let's start with the things that I learned. So that's why I have my notebook. That every time I'm learning something, I'm marking down. So I'm letting everyone know what happened. So the first thing that I think I learned from this week was mostly the idea of be selfish. Like, even though it's maybe grafted weird in a way or another, I think in a corporation, at least in the one I'm working right now, it's very important to be a bit selfish. For example, do take on only the project that actually align with your career growth and actually you will enjoy doing, because otherwise you're kept in a project maybe you don't like, which doesn't even make sense. So make the project more about yourself, because what I learned, a lot of projects are coming, so you need to filter a bit, which means that you need to be selfish in a way or not. In another way, how being selfish, or at least how I learned it, was also about how did I find a new solution that I'm going to do for my project and at the same time my thesis. It was like, let me scrap everything that everyone told me and focus on like something that in a way or another is solving the issue, but it's also something I can use for my thesis and that is going to help me personally, because in the end that's also important. So yeah, that was one advice. Second advice, add deadlines, which to be honest I should have known already from Uber, but apparently I didn't. So the main idea there is that every time you have, like for me, for example, me sending the survey, I didn't put a deadline, please submit your answer until X. I just sent it, which make it very unclear for people if they should prioritize it, if not, if their answer is also good in 1 week, 2 weeks, because maybe it's not something a fast forward thing that they need to do. So it's very good to put a target so they know how to prioritize it, how to put it in their week, and when to do it. That's something I learned for so many times and I always forget it. So maybe this time, if I'm saying in a vlog, it will actually work. Um, yeah, the second tip I got is, because we're in corporation that is most likely you need to find a work for yourself. One thing that apparently maybe I didn't do so much, but what people told me to do is, while you're doing this coffee chat, talk with people, always put the question, what is going wrong? So pretty much the idea of like, do you feel like something is wrong? Do you feel like you have problem understanding something? Like there is always something missing, maybe that people don't really have time to put in it. And with that question, you're getting a lot of project and also places where you can maybe do an impact and help. Because maybe he's not the only one having the problem, so you're starting seeing patterns, which for me happened a bit with tech and test. The third lesson is about the mentors, because I also got a lot of questions on TikTok and Instagram about this one, so I said let's introduce it. So the question was around like, how do I even get a mentor? So how I do it personally is like pretty much starting talking with people, trying to understand what they're working on, how is their personality, what are their skills, and also around for me right now what project they are working with, what clients do they work, and trying to have a feeling of what's going on. And then if personally I feel like it's very interesting, that I would absolutely love to work on this project, or that is literally something that is my goal to get knowledge on, or if I feel like this person, like I just look up them, I'm literally just going to them and ask. It's that simple. It's not rocket science. It's it's maybe a bit uncomfortable for me at least at the beginning, like how do I put a question, but I'm just leading a conversation. At the end I'm like, I need to ask, and if you have any time in your period you want to mentor me, like it needs to be weekly, be weekly. I got something for like from 3 in 3 weeks. To be honest, I don't care as much as like how is repetitive, but if you can give me 30 minutes of your time, any time period, I will take it, because that means I look up to you. So any part of your time, if it's recurring and I have you to lead me, that's great. Though another thing that I need to put here, which I learned from my previous work experience, is mostly that when you have a mentor, it's great, but you are the one in a way or another leading the meetings. You're the one who are supposed to create a structure for your meetings. You're the one who needs to say, I want to learn more about XYZ, please guide me, get me resources, or like give me a plan on how do I can get there. But you're the one who is supposed to say, what do you want from those mentoring meetings? You're never going to go in a mentoring meeting and like be, maybe there is, but for me at least, I never got it to have someone that already knows what they want they to teach you, because it doesn't really make sense. But at least for me, it's like very good for me to lead. I'm always making a document structure on like what do I want to learn from each meeting, and then it's going on from there. So yeah, in the end, it's just literally ask. If you don't know if you one person will be good or not as a mentor, what I got as an advice this week was like, get the person, like for example on LinkedIn you can search up, copy everything that they are in like their experience, and based on that you can just like take everything, put it in an LLM model, and be like, look, this is a person I have a coffee chat or like a chat with, and I would love to define if this will be a good match for being my mentor, and also put like what's your interest in the end. The final advice from this week, which I think is one of the most important for me personally at least, is the fact that the unknown is actually the best place to learn. Like if you see a challenge, if someone comes to you and be like, oh, can you help me with like doing implementation for XYZ, and you have literally zero clue how to do stuff, so you can go there and be like, you know what, I never worked in something like that, but let me give it a try and let's try it. Because what I saw in other people, or what parallel other people told me, is that that's how they learn the most, because they had a project, they had a goal in mind, they had zero clue how to use it, but they went there, they struggled, they talk with LLM models, they try to research a bit on the internet how others did it, they try to talk with different people, and in the end they did find the solution. So pretty much it helped them grow a lot and extend their technical knowledge, or slash any knowledge depending on the process, and it give you that wow moment in a way or another, because in the end the unknown transform in known, which is absolutely great, and that's where the learning is happening. So pretty much today we started always with the kickoff. It was a great experience to see our lead of the department this time, so it's the CSU one, and then also my manager presented, so I was quite excited about this presentation. It's always good to see them on the stage. And then after that I just had some coffee with interns just to catch up with each other, understand the project, stoppers, and to see if we can help in any way each other, and also just have some good conversation. Then I just jump into starting with my survey. As I explained last week, I decided to take a bit of a step back and actually try to understand the different perspective that people have, and what do they actually believe that is the problem in tech, in what I'm solving. So what I did, I built a survey and I sent it to absolutely everyone that I ever talked at Microsoft, and in all the groups that I could. I don't know if that's the way people are going with surveys at Microsoft, but my manager is also out of office, so I was like, you know what, if it's a mistake, at least I will learn. If not, at least I'm getting the information that I need for this project. So I did that part, and then we had lunch with interns. That's always great. And then I literally jump into having some coffee chats, trying to, alongside me doing surveys, I also going to ask people like, what do you think is a problem, where do you see the pain point, try to understand their perspective. and then also worked a lot on the certification, which I'm finally done learning for the AI fundamental one. So on Thursday I'm going to do the exam for it. So pretty much that's everything that happened because I spent literally all the time to learn for it. Tuesday. So this was a full day of meetings, so I make it very brief. First part of the meetings were with all the interns or aspires, trying to catch up with that, trying to understand what's going on. And I also had a meeting with another person that did the same bachelor as me, and then she saw me at Uber, and apparently I inspired her that it's very much possible to also work full-time and also do an internship, and that's why she applied for Microsoft. So for me, it's basically why I'm doing these vlogs and why I'm talking so much at panels, discussion, and everything, because I just love the idea that maybe I can inspire someone. And apparently I managed to do, and it was just fully made my day. So I was happy to hear that story, and I was happy that I was able to help in a way or another. And yeah, pretty much then the second part of the day was fully focused on the intern day, where we got presented all the different communities we have inside, all the different projects that are going on, and also the idea that we do have the dream space at Microsoft, which is an initiative where we are trying to get to kids in different schools, usually for places that they don't have so much technology, let's say in the school, and try to bring that to them so they are able to come for free at Microsoft, where it's like the dream space section, and we can help them with different sessions from programming, artificial intelligence, and other amazing stuff. So it was a great initiative to just see, and of course I applied because I feel like it's just literally what I did also in Romania, and also what I did with Insnea. So I was like, it's like literally just a continuation for me. So I was excited about the idea. And yeah, it was just different presentation on those topics just to get us going and also be able to see what's up there. What happened today is like I finally got a lot of answers to my survey. So literally all I did was like analyzing the answer, trying to understand what's there, and creating a way or another a presentation explaining what are my findings and also what's the end solution that I'm thinking of going through, because based on my answer I think this should be the best solution. So I was excited about finally having something on the draft. And then I went to a meeting trying to get set up because I decided to help with an internet tech event. So I finally just met up with I don't know exactly her role in the tech community, to be honest, but we just met up just to set me up, put me in the right groups, trying to understand where can I help and what to put my hands on, basically. And afterwards I had lunch with the interns, as always, enjoying my time there, and then jump in with a meeting with an old intern that is now an aspire, and we were talking a lot about like her role, because she's in a different setup of groups. So basically she's in STU and I'm in CSU, a bit of Microsoft technology. But pretty much I was trying to understand how her team is working with mine, how do we collaborate, what's up with the relationship, and trying to understand and define in my mind how the organization works from her perspective. And after that I jump in actually in a meeting with one other intern and an old intern, just trying to define if by any chance I can jump into one of the projects. So what happened during lunch was that I was talking, I was like, oh, you're giving so much client work in a way or another to him, can you give me also a project? Like I asked very in a fun way if I can also receive a project from him, and he was like, yeah, of course, I think I have something else for you. So that was for me crazy, but as I always say, if you ask you get, so just ask, because you never know when things come up. So we had a meeting just to set up everything, trying to understand if I would like to do something like that or not. And then I went through a lot of documentation on how to make agents with Azure, how to get the framework, and like trying to get a deep dive into that, because in the end, for my thesis, I think that's knowledge I will need to finalize. So I was like, let me put some time in it and try to understand everything. And then we had our amazing weekly intern check-in, where is, as always, we are all the interns trying to understand what's on. There were 2 new projects coming on the line, and some people presented in order to see who wants to join the project. And yeah, it was, as always, great event, and also it's a place for us to say if we are stuck or if anything, and maybe someone else can help. And yeah, pretty much from there I was constantly doing certification. I was listening to some videos that I found that is like, were either speeding up and making it easier for me to learn for my certification. And at the same time I talked with an amazing guy that is like a very happy person, very hyped in a way or another, and he's like one person that I think will help me a lot with like defining who is my mentor, to who to talk with, and pretty much he guided me a bit of like who are the right person to speak with, and also give me some challenges or like how to define my mentors in a way. Into Thursday, and what happened? We started with a 2 hours meeting on trying to draft the agenda for our upcoming tech event, which is going to be an internal event called TechFest, and we're focusing a lot on our technical people and trying to create workshop, keynote speaker, lightning speech, and other amazing stuff to try to reconnect, learn more, and be more tech intense. So I was happy to help there and trying to build the master deck and trying to understand what are the areas where we're lacking people that are going to speak or do the workshop, and then in order to like know how to focus on who to focus. After 2 hours, I went up in another meeting where I was talking with an extremely smart guy who is, in my opinion, a full stack engineering. He did amazing project, and also while we're talking and chatting, I realized that he's working now to an extremely amazing process. I like when I was talking, I was like, oh wow, I heard about it in university. I did like a very minimal level, but I never thought you can use it at such a high scale, let's call it. So I was very interested. So of course I asked if I can shadow, and then he said yes. So I was very happy about it because that gave me a great opportunity to just learn more and see. And I also mentioned that if he has anything to be built and he doesn't have the time, I would love to jump in and break stuff. That's also something he said, that in order to do something you need to break it, because that's how you build. So I do believe that, especially in tech, that's the only way. Like, it's impossible to not get a bug or something going on when you're building software. And after that, we had a great lunch with the intern. After the lunch, I had my first possibility of a client meeting in a way or another. It was just me talking with the person that is owning the client, trying to see if there is an opportunity for me and another intern to help with. Pretty much another old intern was like connecting us with his contact, try to see, because like he's maybe going to leave the company, and then he was like, we'll work great together, let me introduce you to another 2 guys. And I was very lucky that he also introduced me, and then we were talking and trying to see can we help or not. And in the end, I still need to have more meetings in order to try to understand the context, what's going on and there, and to see if I actually can help with something. So I'm excited about that. That's a great opportunity if it will happen, but we'll find out. And then I jump into another meeting about the event that is the internal one, but this time it was more all team trying to define what are the next step. And then jump into my manager meeting, where we discuss more about like what is my progress, what projects I'm getting insight to because I'm starting having more, and also what are my interests with who I talked with. And in the end, it was me needed to go to help some other interns with the task. Fortunately, as always, I was struggling with access. I didn't have access, so I couldn't help a lot. So I jumped into more learning for my certification, waiting for me to get the access, which apparently I only got on Friday when it wasn't needed anymore. But it's okay. There is going to be a second sprint for the task, so I will have back then because I finally have the access. So let's get into what happened on Friday. So pretty much today it was a lot of meetings. We started with a meeting on trying to redefine a bit what I'm going to work on, like a process basically. So in this process we're working on ideation of how could we go more deeper into our client's perspective, and in a way or another give them a whole process and building solution. I cannot give a lot of details about it because it's more of like collaboration details, but in the end it was more of a ideation, trying to get a level deeper into understanding what do I need to do, and pretty much put some milestone for me for the next week and the upcoming weeks to understand how we can grab this and for me. Then I had an amazing team meeting where, as always, we did a rundown. We also managed to meet the skip manager, so pretty much that's the boss of my boss. And it was the first time I met him, so it was a great pleasure to just get into like who is it, his background, and also like he gave us a great intro on what is his experience, to what company he worked, and now what's his vision for the future of how he see Microsoft in general, and also very focused on our team. So it was great to get that input. And also on another sector, we also explain our hobbies just to give him an intro on ourselves and also get into some business perspective and what's going to come up to the next weeks. Then I get lunch with the team just to break a bit the ice, talk with each other, and like get out of work and actually enjoy ourselves. And then I had literally during the lunch an amazing guy from that I'm working with, like organizing some events, came up to me and my coworker and started pitching up a learning session that it was going to happen literally the next hour. And he was like so entertaining, like it was all about security for non-security people and like actually getting into understanding that, which to be honest I was struggling a bit to understand. I was like, oh, this sounds a great subject, let me get into it. So he invited us to the meeting. So after lunch I literally just jumped in this learning session for 1 hour, and he gave me some great tips. The main advice that I got from the whole thing was like never rush security. It's better to be a longer process and to take a longer time than have a security leak or anything around it. I think that also gave me a bit of a throwback to when I joined Microsoft, and I felt like, okay, this process takes so much time. I don't understand why we need to go through all of this. But now thinking back on it and after this meeting, I was like, okay, is it because of this whole like all the layers of security that we are trying to put on to make sure that the data is safe? So I think that was the main advice. Of course others, but I cannot say more, but it was a great tip. Then I had another meeting with one of my co-interns, but he's like an older intern. We said that we're not going to use the old intern term anymore, but we also didn't came with a new name yet, so I will use old intern. So he's for 1 year now in the, Microsoft. So I managed to talk with him and like grab a bit his head around and trying to be like, okay, how can I help you, and also like how can we collaborate, maybe to work together, trying to do some actually cool stuff. And we pretty much map on what are the next step, which is great. It's always good to have clarity on what's next and what we should do. So I mapped that, and I will put it literally in my to-do list as always. And that was one point. And then I'm checking my calendar because that's how I remember what I did. And then I finally had 1 hour in order to be able to actually get into like, I had a lot of conversation, a lot of things going on, but I never managed to put them on the map, on the strategy. So I took all the conversation, I put it on a document, and trying to type out what I remember from them, and also like what are the action items, just for me to have more clarity. And also for the rest of a half an hour I was spending more on certification and trying to learn more about AI, Azure, and data fundamentals. And then I had another great meeting with another tech intense person from our company that is like, we call it full stack AI engineering. And she's amazing, to be honest. She's has like a bit of a coach vibe when we're talking, and I was like, okay, wait, do like the vibe that I'm getting. She's also absolutely incredible. Like when I heard like what she's working on, especially one specific project that she mentioned, I was like, oh wow, that's just insanely amazing. So of course I put up the question if she wants to be my coach. So that's a great perspective for me. She accepted. Okay, she doesn't have a lot of time, so it's going to be from 3 weeks, but I will take anything from amazing people, to be honest. And then we had the new the Chinese New Year celebration, which was absolutely amazing. We had a dragon dance, we had so much fun, so many great snacks. So it was good way to celebrate culture and diversity. Um, but after half an hour, to be honest, I need to drive back in the office, just lock a bit of a more time into certification, because in the end tomorrow I'm giving my exam. So I just not wanted to go again through the nose, read everything, so that tomorrow morning I don't need to wake up and do it. I just need to get into the exam and just do my certification, which I hope I'm going to get. In the end is AI fundamental, so I really hope it will be easy. At least that's my feeling. And yeah, pretty much that's my last day here. Get into week 5 at Microsoft as a cloud solution architect into data and AI. And what were the learning of this week? Most of them are towards slides and presentation, because that was like one of my big things happening. And I think some of them I did learn them back at Uber, but now it was like, let's relearn them, because sometimes you needed a double check. And I think the most important part was on one side to be like, you need to think about what's the audience that you're going to present the slides, who is going to see them, what's their perception of everything, and how do they see the whole problem statement and solution that you're doing. And then pretty much do the slides not from your perspective and what makes sense for your head, but actually from their perspective. And alongside it, also try to make them as simple as possible, because sometimes less is more. And I think another one that's bit out for me and it's harder to accept every time is that slides shouldn't be in an executive level very colorful. It should be bland, and it should be more focused on the text in the slide and like expressing the idea than actually attracting people to the design. I did for a lot of my life a lot of marketing and also my content creation and everything. So for me, everything was towards the idea of like, I need to attract the eyes of the people. I need to attract people to watch my content. So it was always about different colors, different patterns, adding so many different interesting things. But the thing is that when you're doing a presentation, you don't need to get people inside the room. They're already in the room and they just need to listen to the idea. So pretty much that gives me the idea that it should just maybe less color and do more into the, let's put the idea up there because it's more important. The second part of the week, I think, is also very much focused on the idea that you have sometimes a huge solution and a huge like architecture that you need to build up, and sometimes that can be overwhelmed and you can be like, I have zero clue how that could even be manageable or doable. And the thing is that what I learned this week was mostly that it shouldn't look doable. What I should do is actually get the whole big huge architecture and split it in small steps, small sub goals that I could reach. And then if you're looking in like small parentheses, you're getting into the deep dive, doing an architecture for that, you're like, oh, okay, this is doable, I can do this in like 1 week or 2 weeks. And then you're doing that, and then you're going to the next one, and that's how you pretty much make the whole huge thing that at first it feels overwhelming. Also, there is like my thinking that I got from that part, which is mostly towards the idea that nothing is impossible in this world. It's just like how you put it and how you see it into the perspective. Like, I will never see something like, oh, this is hard. I will just split it in subtasks and be like, yeah, oh yeah, it's subtask, it seems pretty easy. So I think those were two main points, but let's get into the week and probably we'll have more. So on Monday, we start as always with a great kickoff from our team, just getting some highlights and also the next steps for this week and what should we focus on. And afterwards, it was like mostly me focusing a lot on the architecture, actually building and splitting what I need to do for my thesis alongside with me working for my big project inside the company. So that was like most of the part, but also I did some courses in how to build agents with Copilot Studio, just to get myself very familiar with like how is the whole structure, how do you need to think it, how do you have different things, because I feel like I will need to use that a lot during my project. And if I have that idea of like what's going on, what type of setup is doing what, because we have huge amount of them, will make it way more easier for me to see the architecture and action build different things. So I think those were my main two priorities. And of course, I had a lot of different meetings on different topics. I think the main meetings were like with my manager, just to talk about what happened, what were some new projects that I'm thinking of taking off, what is his opinion. And of course, that was also for the first time when I did my Connect, which is pretty much our way of putting out goals and then checking up after some days to see, did we manage to do it, how can we like rebuild and everything around it. So we did that part. We got through all my goals, set up some goals, and also set up some like how can I actually reach them. And then he sent it back, so I needed to redo that as well. Then of course another one was like having my recurring coffee chat with my friend from the same team as my work, and we just chat and like trying to understand what's going on and what is like my main goals for what's coming up Tuesday and what happened here. So pretty much the main idea was that I was going to work and suddenly I got some messages from my skip manager that he wanted to have a small talk about one of the projects that I'm going to do with my manager. So I quickly get to work, get a coffee, and pretty much I jump into that call and trying to set up some things, trying to understand what's my role in the project, how can I do it. But in the end, it was mostly a conversation about what's my thesis project, what I'm thinking about. And we, in a way or other, he helped me a lot to shape up the new idea and was like, oh, actually, we can make it more impactful if we're doing this and this and this. And I think that gave me a lot of like a new perspective, because in the end, it was close to that, but like this addition, I think will make it so much more better. So pretty much what I did there, I was like literally, okay, let's jump into doing a lot of research on like different probabilities of like doing that and what other people did. And also then I had a lot of research on like, okay, if we're doing that, what's actually the great architecture for it. Then of course I also had a lot of different meetings on different projects that I might get on myself. First we had like another intern project in order to like make the collaboration between two of our teams way more better. And then I jumped to another call, which was like about another opportunity that we might do. But based on the discussion we had there, I was like, you know what? I don't think this project actually fits me. As I see it, it's just more of like ideation and then give a presentation to people and send it towards them. So I was like, let me say pass to something that I do not feel it will create the right impact from my perspective. Which again, it was a good learning, because sometimes you need to say pass to things that you don't feel that is the impact that you do want to create there. And also like maybe you already have too many projects going on. And after that I had another diverse meeting on different things. One of them being of course a lot of coffee chats with different people, trying to get their perspective. And also I think these meetings helped me a lot to understand, because in my bigger team there are two different roles, and trying to understand how that role is working with my, how do we collaborate, what's going on there. I think that gave me a great perspective. And also it was just good to do some coffee chat. Important thing that happened, I just had a coffee chat with someone that was part of like my first ever hackathon at Microsoft, and then first global hackathon in AI general, and she knew about the things. And I was like telling her the story, how pretty much that hackathon is what shaped me to try to be in AI. I worked there and then joined my university literally abroad for that, and now seeing like the circle back to be at Microsoft and just being able to share that story with someone that was back then at Microsoft and knew the events were going on. It was really great for me, like just to have like again a full circle moment. And at the end of the day we had a Ramadan celebration where we had a lot of different talks from people just explaining what's Ramadan, what it actually mean, like during the 40 days what's happening. And because like they are having some specific days for like different things. And then also we had a great dinner all together, which to be honest it was just amazing to be able to be all together, eating, talking, like not worrying about anything, just enjoying ourselves and enjoying a absolutely amazing dinner. So I think all in one, it was a great ending of the day. uh my stomach was extremely full because they gave us so much food and also so great desserts. and everyone was like just enjoying themselves and being happy and making some connection, but like in a friendly way. Wednesday. This was half of the day full of me trying to build new things and trying to experiment with different setups for my project. And another half of the day was like me literally running from one meeting to another, trying to meet even more people and just trying to create a lot of connection. First half was very to be honest, I think when you're shaping a new project and you're building architecture, you're building everything, you're a bit confused and overwhelmed about all the possibilities to go for it, because for a problem there are multiple solutions to create. So it was the moment of frustration because I couldn't connect something, and it was like a lot of talks, but in the end we managed to do it, which I think is what matters. And then for the rest of the half of the day was literally so many inspiration talks. I feel like I get so much in those talks because they explain how the sprints work here. I managed to get in one of the sprints just to see how the meeting is there. I managed to talk with someone that is absolutely incredible in the CSE role, and I was like, oh wow, that's so cool that she's working on so many different projects. And it's a bit, because at first I was like, maybe I should choose between AI and data, and apparently she's working on both, as I would like to do it as well, because I feel like both of them are making sense for me. So it was cool to just see that. And then of course, as always, we had our weekly interns check-in, where we try to just first part to do a fun game just to know each other more, but then on the second part we're like trying to discuss about like different maybe challenges that each of us has, and also some advices to give to each other. And there I'm gonna only say my advice because I think the rest of them I'm not gonna share. I will just keep it for myself. But mainly, my advice was the idea that, because at one point I gave myself the challenge of like, I'm calling pretty much calling it rejection therapy. And what I was like saying to myself was like, okay, your challenge is to get as many no's as possible, which maybe it feels controversial, but the idea is that I was going to all the meetings that I could find, and I was like asking maybe for the craziest thing that at first I wouldn't ask, because I was like, what if they say no? But then my goal was to actually get a no, so I was like, okay, good, I might ask. And then I went to those meetings and I was like, oh, can I shadow you? Do you want to be my mentor? Can we have like a recurring meeting, because I would love to learn more about you and like your job and your project in general. And constantly it was like I wasn't having any fear of asking anything towards it that I was actually interested in getting, because in the end I was like, either way my goal is to get to know. So I think that's like mind change shift for me, make it so much better. And now I'm like getting there, I'm like, okay, I want this, and I cannot even emphasize of how many opportunities I got just because I went there and asked for it. So yeah, try to get as many no's, because that might give you a lot of yeses. Thursday and Friday I will do it together, because pretty much what happened both days is that I had meetings, a lot of them just coffee chats, meeting people, trying to get alongside with more people. And on the other half, I was trying to work a lot of my project, trying to research and literally experiment with everything that you can find in Microsoft just to see which one will be the best fit. I still don't have an answer for that, but that's why I'm just experimenting and trying different things, because at the end of next week I do need to have something working to show my supervisor from university. So I'm still trying to do that and like playing along with different things, so we'll see how that works. On the meeting side, again, it's just coffee chats, networking, and finding cool projects to maybe work on, or each probably I get an opportunity, something there, but I'm not gonna talk about it until it's 100% sure. And then on the other side, I also had a great talk um, with a guy from a different department than mine, but it was like so motivational, to be honest, to just talk with him, because he was like, each person in this world has like a specific talent that they are great at, but they don't really recognize that they are very good at that, and then they are more focusing on the things that maybe they are not the best, but they are at a level that is good enough. So he was like, maybe you should actually focus on what's your superpower than actually on the tasks that are not that wow-ish in a way or another. For example, there are so many different talents that we might have, and we are like medium level to that. We're not the best on them, but we are still good enough. Like, it's not a low level that maybe bothers someone, in which case we should work on them. But if if it's a medium level and then you have some other talents, like I don't know, you're absolutely incredible, everyone is going to come to you and ask advice on those specific things. And I think that was the main like idea from his part, like you should actually focus more on that good perspective and your good talent, and then focus less on what you're not, like you're just neutral maybe. And also he explained a lot on the idea that if you already got in, that means that you already have the talent, you have already have something special, why you're worth it, like you made the hardest part, you got in, and from now on it's just mostly do something that actually impacts your life and actually makes you happy to do, and like creates the impact that you are looking to create. I think that talk which just like was extremely motivational for me, and I think also for the other person that was in the chat with us, because it was just like a good way to be, oh wow, actually maybe I do have some talents, because he put the right question to find what our talent in the end. So yeah, pretty much that was Thursday and Friday.